1, 2, 3, 4 stream should be up and ready. Hello guys, welcome back. It's time for the stream for the class trial. Let's get right into this because honestly, I'm getting bored sitting on the main menu. We bonded with our classmates the last time. Then we discovered the unfortunate murder of our friend Chihiro Fujisaki, who was the ultimate programmer. So let's just try to get through this one quickly so we can all enjoy a happy and fun punishment. Shall we? But before that, let's read all of the evidence from yesterday that we gathered. Let's see, Marakuma number file 2. The victim was Chihiro Fujisaki. The time of death is estimated to be around 2 AM. The body was discovered in the girls' locker room on the second floor of the school. The cause of death was a blow to the head with a blunt object. She was killed instantly. Evidence number 2, Sakura's account. Although Chihiro wanted to get stronger, she declined several invitations from Sakura and Aoi, and may have used the locker room late at night to avoid them. Despite this, Chihiro had stated that she desired help with her efforts. She may have been meeting someone in the locker room the night she was murdered. Number 3, locker room dumbbell. The dumbbell found on the floor of the girls' locker room had a significant amount of blood on it. Monda's account, Chihiro had told anyone willing to listen that she wanted to get stronger. Some assumed that due to her inferiority complex about being weak, she admired strength more than anything else. Card reader. To unlock a locker room, you need to swipe your e-handbook or the card reader. You need a male student's handbook for the boys' locker room and a female student's for the girls. It is not possible for two people to enter at the same time. Additionally, lending someone your handbook is a violation of the school regulations. Main hall e-handbooks. The handbook of each student that has died is placed in the mailbox in the main hall. Broken e-handbook. One of the handbooks found in the main hall had been broken, which is apparently a rare occurrence. Junko and Sayaka's handbooks both seem to still work, so it is assumed that the broken handbook is Leon's. However, Murakuma claims it's very unlikely that Leon's handbook would have broken. Genocide Jack case. 5 suspected genocide Jack victims include Ken Harada, Tetsuhiro Honda, and Shoji Gaku, among countless others. They were killed in the same way and mounted to a nearby wall. The word bloodlust was found at the scene of each crime, written in blood. Profiling indicates the killer is likely a student suffering from a split personality. Aoi's account. Chihiro seems to have consciously kept her distance from the other girls at the school, even from the beginning. Meanwhile, it had been noticed that she got along remarkably well with her male classmates. The carpet in the boys' locker room was found with a blackish stain on it. Okay, 2 locker room posters. Blood was found on the poster in the girls' locker room. The poster featured a big-breasted supermodel popular among young boys. Meanwhile, the poster in the boys' locker room was for a boy band popular with teenage girls. Forgot to do that. There we go. Meanwhile, the poster in the boys' locker room was for a boy band popular with teenage girls. Chihiro's handbook. Chihiro's handbook was not found on her corpse and has apparently gone missing. Status of the dead body. Chihiro's body had been suspended and her hands had been bound with some kind of rope. Her fatal injury was a blow to the head. Disappearing stain. Sakura mentioned that she was responsible for a coffee stain on the girls' locker room floor. However, the stain had since been inexplicably scrubbed away. Library desk lamp. Byakuya was known to use this lamp often. However, the extension cord had gone missing at some point and the lamp's cord couldn't quite reach the outlet. Celeste's account. On the night of the murder, right before nighttime, Chihiro was spotted leaving the warehouse. It seems she was stuffing some blue exercise clothes into a duffel bag. Presumably she was on her way to exercise, but the clothes were not found at the crime scene. Celeste had not told anyone other than Makoto about this encounter. And that's all the evidence for now. Well, I say for now, but that's literally all we have. We have nothing else that we can use to work with. And last time we didn't really have to reload. We didn't have any bullets to fire during the bullet time battle, so I'm not even sure these two skills are gonna be useful, but just for the heck of it, we're gonna have them equipped in case something bad happens. So yeah, everyone, welcome to the stream. Let's finish our preparations and begin the second class trial. Let's go. Trial or rise?
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
This is gonna be very useful for some of you who weren't here before.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
Huh, right into the business then, huh? First we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. It's obvious, it was the dumbbell. We've seen two different kinds of evidence that suggests that it was the dumbbell. So it's not even a question.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
Where is it?
It appears it was a head wound.
There it is.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Nope, it wasn't.
Interesting. That
Damn.
certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
Poor Chihiro.
Yeah, poor Chihiro. No, the weapon that was used to kill Chihiro must have been in the locker room. Yeah.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
Let's
It
bit
appears
this up,
it
shall we?
according to the Monokuma file. What kind of blunt?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No.
No, that's wrong.
Yasuhiro's at it again.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime?
Yes, please do.
It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell.
How nice of you to even check the victim's wound.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
Oh, thank you, Kyoko.
You looked at her head wound?
I mean, it's kind of important, but...
Yay! That's so creepy!
that voice of yours is more creepy. More creepier?
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit.
Oh, that's funny. Discussion.
Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
Are you gonna suggest it's Genocide Jack?
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Yeah, I don't think that is Genocide Jack. Genocide Jack, the fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? New element. Huh, that's interesting. Let's hear about it, shall we? For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your true bullets will disappear if they hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. But there's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press the A button to attach the silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, a time limit will decrease. So take careful aim when you have your silencer out. No for required then. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In which case, you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck and have fun. Well, difficulty set to min. Once again, is the highest difficulty in the game, so it will definitely appear. Make your argument. The Genocide Jack case file?
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case
Alright.
closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well,
Hey,
I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
Nope, that's wrong. Oh god, I had the wrong thing equipped. I did not pay attention to that. Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that. Makes me think something is really going on. Nah, god. Freak a frack. I have to think about it one more time. There must be a contradiction there somewhere.
The culprit is Genocide
I'm
Jack.
such
I'm
a
sure of it.
dumbo.
Case
God.
closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible.
Ah,
Why? What makes it impossible?
I'm an idiot.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I mean, come on. There's just no proof for it.
Yes, there is. I'm just too dumb to choose the right evidence. God.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
Just ignore that, guys, please.
What?
For my sake.
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
I don't know. Fishing? That's a joke from 2 days ago, I think.
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now.
Whatever you say, T-Dog.
More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail.
Exceeding detail.
According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case.
Can you enlighten us,
The
please?
first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Alright, that's fun.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
God damn it, Why, Fumi? Why'd you have to go there? Why? Just why? Come on, man.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Am I gonna have to answer this?
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
Of course you're just gonna pass it to me. The other characteristic of every Genocide Jack case which the world at large doesn't know. The victim was positioned.
I got it!
I haven't got 666 on the
Apparently,
timer.
in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of.
Okay.
It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
Whoa, just straight to the answer. God damn.
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
Holy shit.
You lie!
Calm down, hamster face.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec.
I'm holding.
Toko has, like, bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Was it called homophobia? Can't remember. I think it was. I might be wrong.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Yes and no. Does seem like a riddle in a way, but I feel like I can just about see it. Genocide Jack is Toko, but isn't Toko. What does it mean? I remember that the confidential file said that it suggested that Genocide Jack may have a split personality. So, sixth letter word, it's probably schizophrenia. I need to see really bad. Can you hook me up, game? Thanks. Thanks, game. See? Nice and easy. Simple.
Now I understand.
Bam.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
There you go. Figure this one out.
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
The one thing that shows Toko could have a split personality, it has to do with her behavior. Her behavior change.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
Yep.
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
She became a total psycho freak. Well, not a total psycho freak, but... she became weird, like... That's not how the usual Toko would act towards the corpse. She wouldn't even interact with it. Or talk to it even. And that one just a weird line. I'm sorry.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Funny is one way to put it.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
But it's true.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm.
It's also a bit stuttery, might I add.
In other words, within her is one personality that can handle blood, and one that obviously can.
Yes.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
That wouldn't make much sense. She herself is Genocide Jack.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
Okay, I see.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her.
What?
What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
What?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation.
What was it?
She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
Holy crud. Wow.
This is all a lie.
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
Busted.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to.
We also should have expected how much of a dick Byakuya is.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale. Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone.
It's not clear that Genocide Jack killed Chihiro yet, you dingus.
But in spite of that promise...
Wow.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it, but...
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
Oof.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
What?
The person? You don't mean...
My god, is she gonna appear? Huge shadow code across the courtroom. But in the next second...
Well, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
That's a freakishly long tongue. Nope, put it away.
Yes! What the heck?
Wait, did he just say genocide Jill?
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do?
What?
I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
I ain't going with Jack or Jill.
What the fuck is this?
Get out of here.
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality! So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Holy shit, I like that laugh.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
I don't say that, nope.
This
Definitely
one is
don't.
so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know.
Wait, haven't you said that before?
Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie.
You definitely said that before.
Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Sure. This is the murderous fiend Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
Before you ask that, I'm not gonna call her Jill. I'm still gonna keep you calling Jack. Genocide Jack.
What's up?
Oh, she looks so cute in this one, except for that hellishly long tongue. Oh, but I am used to it now.
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds!
What?
Just kidding!
Okay.
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid?
Well, I don't know.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless!
Well, that's one thing.
I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Well, it's not like they want to let them, they just can't do shit because they just suck.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people.
I wouldn't quite agree with that, but...
It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
Okay.
Just kidding again!
No, that was too philosophical for that to be just a joke.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death.
Nope, I'm not convinced.
There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
So you're saying Toko's secret is Genocide Jack?
Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack.
Alright.
If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
I don't know, there's something weird about how Chihiro was killed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Thank God, because I'm beginning to like you.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
No, she does have a bizarre fashion in killing and murdering, but still, she has a specific style. And she has a specific tools. I remember that.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
I believe in her. Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. She said, I need to get some more details about all of this. Ooh, we're hitting things up, boy! Make your argument. What do we got? Library slam, status of the dead body, disappearing stain. Okay.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, it's not!
What more proof
Set
do
him
you
up!
need?
That's...
Give it up. You killed her.
No, she didn't! God damn it, Byakuya. Why are you lying? Genocide Jack really the killer? I feel like something doesn't add up. It doesn't add up because...
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
The murder weapon was...
You say that, but do you
completely
really
different from the
expect any of us
Genocide
to
Jack
believe it?
case.
Perhaps if you had an alibi,
From the previous murders
that
from the...
would change things.
God damn it, what am I trying to say?
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
Saying that
When you
the murder
compare
weapon
your
was
past
completely
murders
different
to this
past
incident,
murders.
the modus operandi matches completely.
And the way of suspending them...
What's wrong?
The way of suspending the victims was also completely different. The scissors
Are
were
the
used to kill
methods
them
of
and
murder
suspend
really
them.
exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that.
Makoto can explain in more detail because I'm a bit too dumb.
I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
It's not a slight difference.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Oh, okay, go ahead, please, Jesus.
I murder with passion and conviction.
I'm glad.
I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things.
See, look at that. Scissors. They were killed with scissors and suspended with scissors. That with a stupid dumbbell and some kind of stupid rope.
Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything.
Why are you comparing killing to cooking?
But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
Not Chef Boyardee.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense.
Thank you, Makoto.
There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
You already said that, thank you. There's one clear the victim's fatal
got
injury.
it. For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way.
With them nasty-ass fancy scissors.
According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method?
It would.
And there's more. one more conflicting detail.
What is
That's
it?
right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
What?
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
Yeah,
So,
please.
Are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right. The second difference is related to how she was suspended, how the body was posed, what was used to suspend her.
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
It's not rope, it had a plug at the end of it, which means it was a goddamn extension cord or something.
What is your point?
It's an extension cord. What am I even talking about? The extension cord from the library disappeared after the murder.
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them.
Those same...
Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
Thank you, McCarter.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement.
Good to know.
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use.
Well, how fortunate that is, really.
And you know what else?
Why is it?
Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Did you just call me Big Mac?
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
I'm not a goddamn McDonald's hamburger.
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Huh?
My word,
one
you
more.
really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Let's see. Was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it? Because all the victims were males!
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
That's brilliant! Ken Harada, 32, Tetsuhiro Honda, 17, Shoji Gaku, 23, Kano Issei, 14, that's really young, but dude, Takashi Yoshida, 30, Komatsu Nataro, Takafumi Gono, Uchida Naohya, Takashi Masamue, Yuto Yumejima. There was no end to it.
They were all guys?
My god, they were all guys.
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Little? 32 does not sound like little.
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
No, you're not.
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it.
That's actually quite fun. Or funny.
But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
And now, to become a full-fledged yay fan madam.
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
No qualms against it, but
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
Jesus.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it.
What you talking about there, T-Dog?
It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
I mean...
Quiet, lowly cur!
Oh, wow.
Lowly? Cur?
Ah, correct.
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and rearrangement! It'd make me the obvious suspect!
She's got a good point there.
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors!
They are really fancy.
Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
I don't know.
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class, envy of the entire world scissors!
That's a bit egoistic to say, but I'll allow it.
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Wait, what?
Da-da-da-da!
She's armed! Get down!
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime!
Actually, getting down won't help since it's not a gun.
Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side?
Oh no.
Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you!
Jeez!
Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
Wow. What's wrong?
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
Apparently, we've got nothing on her. And I knew she wasn't the killer anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Well, there was someone else.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
I mean, there's one person who also had access to those kinds of books. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. And that person is you. Yeah, better look concerned, bitch.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Oh no, how could you do it, T-Dog? Because you're an asshole, that's how.
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all? Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
They don't have to censor Qualm.
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
Yeah, he went for the girls' changing rooms. Didn't he?
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
That doesn't add up.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Oh, I definitely will. It's a clear contradiction what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. Another element? God damn, game. Next we're going to add something called a true flashback. Oh, here we go. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the Y button, on the Xbox controller mind you, Then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well then, good luck and have fun. Well, it certainly sounds like a fun mechanic. Monaco. Okay. Wow.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro,
Yeah.
who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
In Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, I realize there is a clear contradiction in there. I need to make that contradiction clear. I think I know what to do.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
I'll just suck that one
But
up
he was acting weird... how?
If you're
and
presented
shoot
with
it
the
at Byakuya.
opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
You should have done that before we discovered the body.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was.
See? There you go.
So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit.
Thanks, T-Dog.
Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. We've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
You think?
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
They just go silent. Differences between this case and other Oh, I think I remember now. And other Genocide Jack murders. The evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible is hidden there? What could it be? I think I got it. I just remembered. It's not Celestica, not the Spring Stain. I think it has to do with the desk lamp.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again?
Please explain.
When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors.
Yeah,
And I
we
use
got
those same scissors to arrange the body.
Yep.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
Yeah.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Was it really a rope?
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Don't lie to me.
No, that's wrong.
For a second I thought it was gonna block my goddamn truth bullet.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, You've used the extension cord in the library and the same extension cord that was in the library all this time?
Sorry. Got trigger happy.
Went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
Yeah, but this feels too easy. He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait, not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
No.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
What is even that?
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
No, this doesn't feel right.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second?
Swift rage. Firing the swift rage.
I think we need to talk about this a little more.
You're right, Makoto. Would you look at that? That's a dead sack of bullshit. Rip.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
We should only decide on someone being the culprit when we're all satisfied.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
If there are still lingering questions, we should ask them all and try to answer them.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait, what was that just now? Something's not right. Byakuya's remark just now. There's something in there that concerns me. Maybe the scene of the crime?
I got it!
That just wouldn't make sense.
You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right?
Yeah, wait, that's not right. Or is it?
But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing.
Wow, thanks, man.
What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
You don't know me.
She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
My god, Makoto, that's some banging thinking.
The rest of the murder scene?
Oh? Oh?
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
Huh.
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya. Did I just take you off guard? When the story suddenly moved to the crime scene, Byakuya, who'd been so confident up till now, maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else.
Hey, don't just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
Evidence that shows the murder took place somewhere else. The girl... That model's poster in the girls' locker room. It was originally in the boys' locker room, wasn't it? Where is it?
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
Yeah.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange?
It doesn't. It does not fit in that room.
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
You don't know that. Most likely true, but still, you don't know that, so don't just assume things.
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had
a boy band's poster.
A poster of the super popular boy band Tornado.
Look, they all have different colors of hair. They're all main protagonists of a story. Would you look at that?
Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
Not maybe, definitely.
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
The stain.
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet.
Kappa!
But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved to the boys' locker room.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
I'm glad you agree with me.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To confuse us, probably. To make us think that Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room.
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime.
Wait.
The bloodstained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body.
Wait a second.
By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
Chihiro was a girl, so she wouldn't have any kind of access to the boys' locker room, so how did she wind up there and died there? Because she couldn't have entered the room as a girl.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
She shouldn't have been able to enter the boys' locker room because her e-handbook wouldn't allow for it.
Huh?
Why would they go to all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime?
Why did the non-stop debate music begin? What?
Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room...
Woman, what are you doing? Don't take my place.
Then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place?
I'm glad you're actually asking the same question that I am, but still, don't take my place.
To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room.
Oh no. Well,
she had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
The only way she would have gotten in there is that if she got a boy's e-handbook, but...
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Loaning your e-handbook was prohibited. And the only boy's handbook in the main lobby area was completely broken. All the girls' ones were still operational.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Please explain then, maid man. Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? Things are heading out, ladies and gentlemen. Make your argument. Boys locker room carpet, broken handbook, 2 locker room posters. The handbook?
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I've got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook!
No.
She was the ultimate programmer, after all.
Don't think that's the case.
I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
It's a good...
No, I don't think that's it.
That's good thinking, but it's not it.
She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
It was broken.
No, that's wrong.
So she couldn't have used it.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because it was broken, you dumbass.
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
You already gave up?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
No, there's a loophole in it. You cannot loan someone else's, but you can borrow it from a dead person. Because they're not living anymore. They're not a person anymore.
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one.
Yeah.
In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Psst! You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
Jesus.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
No. Is that it then? There is no logical way, not with all these evidence presented so far. Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room and Byakuya is the one who did it. Really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.
Hold on a second.
Oh.
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say?
I'm trying to think how she could have entered.
There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Oh?
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Really? Huh.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
I don't think it's gonna be boring since it's Kyoko.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations.
Lofty.
So, shall we go?
So, before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. And where she took us was... the crime scene?
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom! What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'm glad it's actually voiced.
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
You want to check it again?
Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
Wait. What?
Examine her carefully? Like using our hands? No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
Wait.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Wait a second.
Very well. I'll do it.
What? Hold on, this is wrong. Oh no.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
Oh no, I have a wrong feeling about this one.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her.
Oh no,
So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
I didn't read the last line. Putting her hands together in a brief prayer, Sakura then began to quietly examine her body. Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but...
Wait, you mean...
What? This is... What is this...
My god, she's...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
She's going Super Saiyan! Sakura's eyes are staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembles.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy!
What the fuck?
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
Why is it a reaction for me?
What?
There you go, that's more appropriate. What the fuck?
You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Oh shit, son.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a boy.
Chihiro was a guy?
Wow. I can't believe you pulled that on me, Danganronpa.
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat.
For the love of God.
Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, now I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
That's not a good thing to say out loud.
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting.
I don't feel good. I'm not happy.
Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting.
Well, it certainly explains how she could get into could get into the boys' locker room.
Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial.
God's sake.
I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial.
Oh my god.
We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
Unfucking believable. To think that Chihiro was actually a guy. Thought it never even crossed my mind.
And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Yeah, you're right.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
God.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion.
Well, at least I have the right to tell you guys that you were wrong.
The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room.
Not really, you saved us, Kyoko.
And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
Jesus.
So, Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
Apparently.
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
Quote-unquote female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
Come on, no time for jokes now.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Excuse me, they just need not to see the surprise on his face when we talk about the location of the murder, where he was killed, and when we discovered that he was a boy.
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
Are you actually awake, Asahina?
He's off in his own little world.
Not like you're an exception, Hifumi.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Definitely not.
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it.
Well, which was a dick move, let's just admit it.
But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
Yeah.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
Jeez.
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, and then again when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy.
Sorry for the skipping, but it seemed to rattle him.
If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Ugh, you're so stuck up your own ass, you know that?
Mark it as correct?
Yeah, he's not the killer.
He's right. I am not the culprit.
He's too big of a dick to be the culprit.
I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Can't believe you did that.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
The self-censor.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Why?
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
Man.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
Does it really matter at this point, though, to know it? We still have to find who the real killer is.
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
Oh my god, you're such an idiot, Kagakure. Just go back to smoking weed and being in your own stupid occult world or something.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility.
Yes, please, Jesus.
Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
Good point.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Okay.
Damn straight. Count me in.
You're too fickle.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Apparently not.
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
No, I definitely think you're stupider than an ant.
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
Good point.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Yeah. But if Byakuya didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing we can be sure that we know about the killer. The killer is a guy.
I got it!
Since the crime scene was in the boys' locker room, you would need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have had to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. And that's still not enough. I need to find some more clues. Oof. Make your argument.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
So
it's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim?
You're really dramatic, you know that?
The killer! And only the killer!
Nope. Celeste saw them.
No, that's wrong!
Celeste saw the victim. Yesterday night.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes. I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
They probably got rid of it.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
Oh, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
Good thinking.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Huh, you actually said something smart for the first time in your life.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Ooh, what a marvelous friendship!
I wouldn't say that.
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.